All right, we are good to go.
So shall we start?
I'm ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 8th and final episode of SCM Talk Show Season 4. As you remember, the last episode was on end-to-end traceability in supply chain management. And the title of this episode is Will Supply Chain Determine E-commerce Success? So this topic has been chosen to tap vast experience of the speaker. As usual, this session will also be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel. Like our earlier practice, we are putting everyone on listen-only mode. So like all previous times, please submit your questions in the chat box. We will take few questions, most asked questions at the end of the session if the time permits. So it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Mr. K. Radhakrishnan. Radha is a director in StarQuick. StarQuick.com is the online home delivery service for the Star Bazaar stores of Tata Trent Hypermart Limited, which is a Tata and Tesco enterprise. Radha has over 40 years of total experience in food and beverage, retail and e-commerce industry. He started his career with Carrot Moran and then progressed to Perry Agro, Nissin Food, Hingashimaru Feed, Spencer's Retail, and he was CEO of Reliance Retail also, president of Future Fresh Food and director of Freshkins. He also co-founded a startup called grocermax.com in NCR region with the same-day delivery model. He finished his schooling from Delhi. He completed his bachelor's from Government Sod College, Trivandrum. He completed his master's also from Department of Economics, University of Kerala, Trivandrum. He has been a sportsman mainly in hockey and karate. He also earned a degree as a naturopath, which is something unique, Radha, and was also a student leader in the university. His skill sets include, but not limited to, re-engineering, value creation, new business development, marketing management, product development, product design, B2C e-commerce, strategy, startups, supply chain management, information technology, etc., etc. I think the list is very long, and I'm sure I missed many more achievements of Radha. So if anything I missed, Radha, please add to that list.
No. I think you have been generous enough. One lesson in life one learns late in life is don't try to do too many things. So just stick to the knitting. But thank you very much for the intro and very happy to be here.
Yeah, in fact, thanks for accepting our invitation to share your industry and practice-oriented insights with our listeners. Thank you so much. So to begin with, I would like you to explain the critical success factor of an online home delivery service like StarQuick.com.
Yeah.
What are the critical success factors?
So when you talk of home delivery for grocery, we have to remember that grocery is not small. There are 14 million mom and pop stores in the country. And modern trade by itself is new. It started way back in 1996. In fact, that's a company where I worked first as a retailer. And, it used to be called Spencer's. It was called Food World. The name is the retail was Food World. So it's not as if grocery is not available. But when you talk of home delivery, obviously the customer has evolved and saying now, I don't want to go to a store. Now I would like to get the delivery back home. Critical success factor is what? To give the same experience that the customer has when the customer is going to a store to buy, you have to replicate that experience or even do better, save the customer time and deliver the same quality to the customer's house at the time that the customer wants. And the customer obviously doesn't want to pay a premium on this. So therefore, home delivery, as far as StarQuick is concerned, is very simple. We have to deliver what's in the store into the customer's house. So that's what home delivery really means. It is an extension of the Star Bazaar store. So StarQuick is an omni-channel. I'll talk about that later. But it feeds off the store. It runs on top of the store, and it extends the footprint of the store to a larger radius. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. I think you'll have to unmute yourself. Are you muted? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, actually, I muted myself.
Right.
Now my question is, how many supply chains that you handle, and what are the challenges in handling each type of supply chain?
So what has happened in over the last 10 years that I have seen as far as e-commerce is concerned? Supply chain seems to be defining e-commerce itself. That um, that you can have various types of supply chain. For instance, one of the earliest e-commerce was a really book my show kind of a thing where people bought tickets, but that's all digitized. But when it comes to grocery, where there's physical movement, the thing gets complicated. And people have tried to do, it started off by next day delivery, then same day delivery. And recently, over the last year and a half, there was 10-minute delivery. Now there's 30-minute delivery, 90-minute delivery. All these things, while it's easy to say, totally, entirely changes the way the e-commerce company works. Right? Not easy moving a time span from next day to same day to 3 hours, 3 hours to 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It is a whiplash into the way that your format is set. And therefore, there's so many types of deliveries that is being made. And therefore, it changes the way e-commerce looks itself. So supply chain, it would suffice to be, or my answer to your question is, e-commerce is today redefining the way e-commerce is running. Supply chain is redefining the way e-commerce is today. So there are various kinds of supply chain and therefore various kinds of e-commerce companies and promising various things.
So do you also handle something like vegetables and fruit separately, or milk, or something like, with short shelf life, long shelf life items, and so on?
Oh yes,
Is that a
absolutely,
challenge?
absolutely. So what is different? I mean, the Kirana guy also, you make a call to him, he will deliver a packet of noodles to your home. But there are very few people who will deliver fruit and vegetable, non-veg meat, all sorts of meat, right? Whether it's mutton or chicken or and frozen products, all dairy and milk, everything we deliver to your doorstep. And that is particularly our forte, that we are so good. I mean, Star Bazaar has an excellent range of fruit and vegetable, and we are leaders in the market as far as that is concerned. Very few people in India have been able to do fruit and vegetable very well. In fact, we do that extraordinarily well. We have a lot of success with delivering fruit and vegetable. It's one of the largest categories that we deliver to people's homes. And we also have evolved a method in which we can deliver frozen to people's homes by using, frozen cassettes, which we put into the um, double layered thing and deliver to people, the double layered container, and deliver to people's homes. So to answer your question, we deliver all the temperatures, ambient temperature, chill at 4 degrees, minus 23 degrees, and fruit and
Oh,
vegetables. Some needs to be chill and some needs to be ambient. So we do all that, and that's really where our whole success is. It is not predicated. Our business, StarQuick business, does not need to tell the customer I'll do it in 10 minutes, because that's another kind of customer who needs it. As far as we are concerned, we are a full scale, all category home delivered company. We deliver all categories to people's homes, and people come to us when they want to do their serious home shopping.
so what are the challenges there? I mean, or delivering frozen products and fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm sure there are different challenges. Why other businesses are not able to do?
Yes. So first of all, your basic sourcing and stocking and selling inside the store has got to be very good. These are all very lucrative categories, but if you don't do it well, it'll drown you. In the mandi, they say, you go to a fruit and vegetable mandi, they say that आप इसको खा जाओ नहीं तो ये आपको खा जाएगा. So the innocent onion or tomato can actually drown your company, because you could lose money, at a blink of an eye. So you got to have the skill sets to be able to manage that, the temperature and the fragility. Starting from eggs, imagine how fragile egg is, but can you put it into a rider's backpack and have it delivered to people's home? We do that all the time. Our largest selling egg is actually a 30-pack egg. So people buy their monthly shopping or weekly shopping entirely from us, and we have large average bill values. So there's several challenges, and this is the skill sets that we have evolved over time. And this is why people come to us for their entire monthly shopping.
And what are the challenges on the delivery side of your supply chain?
So most people use gig workers, right? Where you call them, they come pick it up, go and deliver to somebody's home, and then they go away. But for us, it doesn't work very well like that. For us, it is necessary that this guy has to come back, because we hardly do any biker delivery today, because we feel that the grocery is not handled properly by a biker. By putting it into his bag, there is biscuits which get powdered and stuff like that. So we deliver in crates, and we do van deliveries. We have now moved to eco vans, electric vans, but we supply to people's doors in large crates. And whether it's your 500 rupees the order or whether it's 5,000 rupees the order, we deliver in a crate. And therefore that crate has to come back to store. So we have dedicated last mile people who report to us in the morning and work, their full shift with us. So they are dedicated to us, even though they may not be on our rolls, they may be contract labor, but completely dedicated to our business.
So what kind of supply chain you have? I mean, in terms of retail stores, warehouses, as you said about electric, trucks and so on. So what kind of supply chain network you have?
So we are probably one of the very few or maybe only omni-channel business for grocery. So what's the meaning of omni-channel? Omni-channel is where whichever is the company which is running a store, they also do home delivery from the stock that they hold in the store. That's called omni-channel. So if you take some of the other players who have dedicated warehouses, that is not omni-channel. Omni-channel, the way we understand it, is that it is you pick up from the same store where the customer comes to shop. Sometimes he comes to shop and sometimes he tops up using our app. So we are an omni-channel, and our model is quite simple. We don't hold any stock. We reflect the stock in the store to the customer on the app, and this is real time almost, that they can see the store. And just on your earlier point, I must say that if you look at the returns that we get, it's like 0.1%. So nobody returns go. So we're delivering it properly. That's why nobody's returning it. And we take returns at no questions asked. So our business, we don't do 30-minute delivery yet, but by March we will be starting that, but for a smaller radius and for a different set of customers who need that. It's become clear to me that there is a customer is not uniform in the way they shop. Sometimes they want it in 10 minutes. Sometimes they want a whole basket, which they'll wait for maybe 3 or 4 hours. So our main thing is we deliver within 3 to 4 hours of your order. That is our main, is something we call Snap. That's how we actually deliver to people's homes. We will be starting the 30-minute delivery or 90-minute delivery. That we're just working on it. We now feel that the market is maturing towards that we will do. So those are the two ways that we do it. But as far as stock is concerned, we don't hold any stock. We start in the morning. Every day is a new day. At the end of the day, we close our books and start the next day as fresh.
So what technologies and automation you use in supply chain, in your supply chain?
It's quite simple, actually. The biggest problem that most e-commerce companies do is complicate their technology. We are very simple. We own our own codes. We write our own. We use open source, and we write
Okay.
our own codes. We own our own codes. We don't take any prefabricated site. It is possible to make a quick site, but we didn't find that good enough. We have a small and smart tech team. We've never fired anybody from our tech team, so we didn't have to do it. So we've kept the team in a manner because we are not peaking in growth and suddenly asking hundreds of people to go. We've never actually done that. We use For us, the most important thing is not the software. The most important thing is process intelligence. You can get any software to do that for you. What makes the biggest difference is actually process engineering, right? Where if you have process intelligence and you're delivering in that manner, then everything else can follow. You can use any kind of software to actually enable it. So our whole gig, the thing that excites us is the fact that we are 100% paperless company. We do not generate a single piece of paper in our business. We scan, so which means that we have 100% scan rate. We scan everything, even coconut we scan. So, and we have zero error. We are completely seamless, errorless, and everything is scanned in and scanned out. So earlier we used to send the invoice to the customer, but now that invoice is also now digital. So we are truly a zero paper company. So
customer gets invoice on the mobile phone, is it?
Yes, they get their invoice on the mobile. And as far as automation is concerned, we have pickers in the store. They pick from the shelf. They get the stock. That's very easy. Our training of the picker takes only some 30 minutes because it is so dumbed down to the way the picking must happen. The routes are depending on where the product is in the store. They take the easiest path, most optimized path to picking. They scan everything. We tell them where the location is. As long as they can read English, they are hired. So we don't have any problem at all. We use simple Android phones to do the scanning. We don't use expensive 60,000 rupees, stuff to do that. And therefore our capex is very simple. With 6 lakh rupees, we can set up a 5 crore turnover company. So our capex is almost nothing. We're completely asset light. And the operative word is 100% scannability.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what kind of employees work for you and what percentage are they in different management roles?
So as far as management roles are, well, the largest percentage of our, say, 85% of the people who work for us are on contract labor, which is the pickers in the store and last mile delivery. As far as the management staff is concerned, we have very, very lean staff. We have a tech team, and they are experts by now. We have very, very little churn in our tech team. They've been stable with us for the last 7 years. Very few people have left. People have grown in stature. They have now upgraded in terms of whether it's AI or whether it's anything else. They've upgraded well. They understand our business. The most important thing for me is the tech must understand the business, and the business cannot be subservient to tech. So the first thing we do, any tech guy who joins, we send him to the store for 1 week. He has to do the picking and he has to do the delivery to the customer's house. Then he understands. Then he understands how difficult it is to do that work, and therefore technology must play the role of making that person, the front end people's lives easier. So we have tech people. We have well qualified people who do tech. A lot of experience. Our people are not, and the non-tech people are all people who are from experience, not necessarily with a degree. So it's not. So we hire for experience. We don't hire for degree. So we have category managers, just 2 category managers who handle the entire category, and they have the combined experience of almost 35 years of experience in category. We have 2 marketing people. One is brand marketing. One is digital marketing. 2 digital marketing people. Altogether, the managerial staff is, less than 40 people.
Oh, great, great, great. So I think, I would like to ask, challenges during COVID-19, because during COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain was highlighted. In fact, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, he uttered supply chain so many times in his address to nation. So what challenges you faced during COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, actually, there are very few people in this country who are as close to the ground as our PM. I mean, he understands exactly the need of the hour and the people who are working on the ground. COVID was the busiest time of my life. And,
I see.
on April 5th, on April 2nd, when the lockdown completely happened, 2020, we used to have 40 people in the store for picking and delivery, one of our largest stores, which is Nandheri West. And on that day, there was just me and the head of operations and one more guy. There were only three people, and we had
Oh,
290 orders to pick and deliver. Of course, we couldn't do that. It took us some time because people were all scared. They didn't know what to expect. Today, we are the wiser, right? Today, we know how to handle some of these issues. Though I still can't say that, we've learned everything. What's in the future, we don't know. But as far as those days were concerned, it was perilous in the sense that, remember that people were dying. It was not as if it was just a flu. Today, you call it a flu, but it was not like that. It was like, I mean, we were seeing horrible videos and pictures from all around the world where people were dying. So when I'm going to the store, I'm putting myself at risk. And mind you, within the next 7 days, all our management staff was back. They was back in the store. Offices were closed, but everyone returned to the store. And I myself personally would have delivered more than 200 orders in my car, during those 6-7 months. And the biggest problems were that people, all the pickers, imagine, I mean, little girls who worked for us, we would call them, give a phone call, and they would say that, I want to come, but my parents are not allowing me to go. So we had to arrange pickups. We had to arrange pickups for these people from across everywhere else. And then we suddenly realized that you shouldn't recruit from too far, even though you have a train. So then we changed the way we recruited. We started recruiting people from 5 kilometers away. Today, all our people come from within 5 kilometers away. And we sent vans to them. We picked them up. We brought them and we delivered them back home. We couldn't get drivers for our vans. And some of our delivery boys who had licenses would actually drive vans also to go and do the delivery. It was
I see.
amazing. And being in a Tata company, no policeman would stop us, knowing that we are from Tata and we are doing grocery delivery. Not even once. I mean, they stopped us many times, but nobody turned us around to say that you can't go on the road. So it was really amazing. And what was most amazing is that hundreds and hundreds of our people came back to store. And it was like putting their life at risk. Honestly, we lost 2 or 3 people amongst our colleagues. But overall, they all stayed focused on delivering groceries to people's homes.
Oh, very challenging time.
Really was.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, personal question. Having done masters in economics, how did you land in supply chain? Sorry, before that, I have a question. The main question for the title that we have. Uh, does and will supply chain management determine e-commerce success?
100%. I think e-commerce not only determines success, it also defines what e-commerce you're doing, right? Uh, I would think that how good you are in your supply chain would be a high determinant of how successful you are as far as e-commerce is concerned. There is no doubt. People know supply chain actually not only by what you sell, but also in terms of time of delivery, how good your delivery is. And so the last mile really defines your format, and it also defines your critical success criteria. If you've got your supply chain costs right, then you actually will have a good profit and a good P&L. And I must say, we've done our maniacal approach towards being mean on cost. Our supply chain cost, we are not as yet as cheap as we should be. But as far as most of the other picking costs and all are concerned, we believe that cost reduction should be a function of productivity and not just reducing the number of people. Getting throughput per person between 28 months ago and today, the picking that we do in the store has gone up by a factor of 4. They pick so much more. So with our sales going up 3 times, we use literally the same picking force to actually do the picking. And scanning by itself, where you don't have to read anything and don't have to do rework. I mean, we need that Kaizen mindset. We need that TQM mindset, where you look at some of those basic principles. It should be ingrained in the way we do our work. So it definitely defines your P&L, and supply chain would be one of the big costs as far as the e-commerce is concerned. If you take warehousing, picking, labor, and stuff like that, if that is bloated, there is no way you can make money. Because after all, what does an e-commerce company do? E-commerce company does not manufacture so much. It just buys stocks and sells. That's all 100% supply chain job. So to answer your question, yes.
So what kind of, I mean, you said that, the improvement that you have done in terms of productivity is humongous, right? What tools you use to improve your productivity, continuous improvement, what kind of systems you have and what kind of procedures you have?
So again, I go back to what I said earlier. We used process engineering more than using some discovered software, right?
Okay.
Or some tool. We didn't use robotics. Of course, there is a place for that also, depending on the scale. We don't have the scale to use robotics, but I guess even robotics can do the same thing. But as far as we were concerned, it was process engineering, right? Where the picker had to walk, let us say 1,000 steps to do this, to pick 10 items. Today, to pick 40 items, she will walk only 40 steps or 50 steps. How do you do that? How do you get that done? And how do you enable faster picking, multiple picking, like picking for more orders in one trip? How do you reduce the rework? And in supply chain, I leave the people who are hearing with one thing to think about. Reducing the number of times you touch a product is equal to the amount of money you will save. Okay? So if you touch it, every time you touch it, you are actually incurring cost. So that should be the way you should think about efficiency in supply chain.
Right. So my next question was your personal question. Having done your master's in economics, how did you land in supply chain? By choice or by luck?
I don't know how many people get to work in what they study. Because I know people,
hardly any percentage, I think.
very few. I mean, all the IIT guys are selling soap. So
Yeah.
big deal about that, right? So,
And they're
but I
doing
think I have
investment.
for to people who are young. I'm an old man. I mean, I've been working for a very long time. But for all the people who are there who are young, I can tell you this, that you may not get what you like in your life, but you must love what you get, right? So it is like a musician. It is like an artist. Their avocation and vocation is the same. So they must be the happiest people, where their business and their hobby is the same. So you should approach every job you do. It doesn't matter what job it is. Whatever is in front of you, just get to love it. That's the biggest trick. So did economics help? It helped. It definitely helped. It definitely helped in terms of structuring my thought, of understanding the fundamentals of economics, like things like diminishing marginal utility and stuff like that, where you get to understand the consumer. There was so much good stuff, but I never got to do a management degree, which I still regret. And not because I wanted a better job, but maybe if I had a management degree, I would never become an entrepreneur, because the number of MBAs who are entrepreneurs are very few. It's people who have never gone to college or become the best entrepreneurs in the world. But I'm not prescribing that. But The moment you have too much of uh, let me call it learning, then I think your entrepreneurship is in the inverse. It's like Mark Twain said, don't let education come between you and learning. So I think you should remember that.
So what kind of skill sets you picked up, on your journey, the supply chain journey? What did you do? What kind of skill sets you picked? How did you carry the journey through?
So if I can be honest, my business is not supply chain. My business is retail, in which supply chain is
Okay.
a big part. And I
Right.
think I would ask everybody to remember that supply chain is not a business. It is
Yeah.
like HR and it is like IT. It is a support function to a business, right? So don't treat supply chain like a. You have to understand that supply chain goes to embellish the business, and that business may have different requirements at different time. For instance, it is not necessary that the leanest supply chain is the best for all businesses. It may not be true. I mean, you may incur a certain amount of warehousing cost, which will help you in your business, and it may be only a small percentage of total business. There may be other businesses where supply chain is a large portion of the cost. Therefore, you have to have a different approach. So there is no one solution as far as supply chain is concerned. Think of supply chain like one of the most crucial uh, extensions of the business, and therefore you got to remain flexible. As far as I'm concerned, everything I always did was always focused on removing cost through productivity. That nobody can quarrel with. You should never have fat in the system. You should use intelligent algorithms. People are focusing a lot on software, but I think the current AI thinking and ML thinking, machine learning, will help you a lot to refine the way you do business and refine the process that you use.
Excellent. Excellent. So what was your aha moments in your journey, if I may know?
No, for me, every day is an aha moment. So I don't think I have a eureka moment. I think I had an aha moment in the reverse when actually COVID hit. But other than that, personally in my life, the one aha moment I can definitely call out is when Tata acquired my business, Grosser Max, they acquired, and I became a Tata company. It's been the greatest pleasure in my life working for Tata's for the last 7 years, and
I'm sure.
and it's really gratifying to work in such a wonderful company. And I was an entrepreneur. I mean, I left a CEO position. I could have been the CEO of one of the largest retail companies in this country. I left that to start in Sector 3, Gurgaon, a small little shed to start warehousing. Maybe I had a death wish, but I survived. So, um, it's been, for me, every day when we deliver grocery and we don't get returns, customers are not shouting at us, we deliver on time, we deliver 99.4% of everything that they ask for, we deliver it at 97% on time. That's the aha moment.
Yeah, so actually, I was going to ask you that from a CEO position to an entrepreneur. First of all, how did you take the dive into it, and what was your experience? How did you go? How did everything go?
People keep asking me, I want to become an entrepreneur. What do I do? I said it's like falling in love. I mean, do you decide that Friday 8 o'clock you will fall in love? You can't do that. It will happen to you. This is something that there is a calling, then you can't stop it. Once you've decided, once that bug bites you, you can't hold back. And it's not as if I had millions of dollars. I went out to raise money, uh, and is and you know, so raising money at a good time was good, but other times it has always been extremely difficult. But you, I mean, you just have to understand that it's so difficult to make that choice. But clearly, it will happen to you. Don't think that becoming an entrepreneur is a sexy job. Everybody goes through the valley of death. I lost everything. And did I gain it all back? No. But the greatest thing to gain is experience, and finally you put food on the table. That's the happiest moment where your company continues with a larger group like Tata's, which has been an absolute pleasure.
Great, great, great. So, I mean, to all the supply chain professionals that we have who are listening to us and, who will probably listen to our recording, what is your advice in terms of career growth, in terms of skill sets that they should acquire, whatever?
I think the first thing is, don't narrow the definition of supply chain. Okay? Supply chain should start from soon after the product is made. So it doesn't matter even if it is a bottle of jam. Supply chain starts there, right? The moment the product is made, supply chain starts. And think about intelligence in supply chain, right? Supply chain has got to be intelligent because it can be faster, quicker, safer, less cost, and all that requires constant thinking. And process engineering and process thinking and design thinking, these are the skill sets that you need. And critically, if I were to ask everybody to pick up one line of thinking, it is design thinking. Supply chain is all about designing something for a purpose. So get yourself fully into, I don't know, for some reason, it may be innate to me. I do design thinking all the time. If there is a problem, how do you break it up and how do you put a design around solving that problem? That is the single biggest skill set that a supply chain person will have. The rest anybody can do. You want to hire a warehouse, you want to run a warehouse, but how do you design a warehouse? What kind of a warehouse do you want? What kind of a vehicle do you want to employ? That's where design thinking happens. And you can't think that out. I don't think just managing a workforce in a warehouse is skill enough. But how do you manage that warehouse? The design of having the right people. That piece is the more exciting piece, and that's what is more rewarding.
Great, thank you. And how about technology piece? I mean, the lot of talk about so much technology in supply chain, and
Yeah,
you also
so
talked about AI, ML, and so on.
So
And
Ravi, one of my jobs in my life, I worked with one of the richest people, and he told me once that the way you should run a business is that don't worry about technology. आपको जो करना है वो तैयार करो, टेक्नोलॉजी वाले को करना ही पड़ेगा जो आप चाहते हो. The poverty is not in the technology. The poverty is in the thinking. If you can think out a solution, technology will follow. Technology is like water. It finds all the right levels. It finds the crevices through which it will flow. Technology is also not a business. It is a support, right? The support to a business. And therefore, don't worry about technology. Technology will understand by itself. Can you become an expert in AI? I don't think so. But become a good user of technology rather than being a technologist. If you become an AI expert, you will be narrowly and deep in one line. If that gives you happiness, then you can leave supply chain and become a technologist. Don't worry about technology. Worry about the business and worry about the process and worry about the design and the process engineering that you want to do. Technology, there's enough technology to come and support you. Don't worry about it. I am not an engineer, but nobody can fool me when any technology presents itself. Because the only thing I want to do is the technology delivering what I want to see and what my customer wants to get and the cost I want to meet. I don't care who it is or who the technology is. I'm not belittling technology, but I'm telling you that technology is a service.
great, wonderful. Thank you so much for your insight for our listeners. So I think we have some questions from the listeners, and let's have those questions taken.
Yeah, I'm
So
very
thank you
happy
much,
to
Radha.
answer that because you and I mean we have like canned curated questions maybe, but when the audience is asking, they genuinely have doubts, so we should answer some of them.
Yeah. So before I hand it over to Nistusha, I must thank you, Radha, for this wonderful session and the opportunity that we have had with you. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine, Ravi. See you sometime soon.
See you sometime soon. Nistush, can you take over?
Yes, so listening to the conversation about the e-commerce supply chain, I think I could have also put this topic as myths of e-commerce supply chain. So
Possibly,
we've
yes.
heard a few points related to technology, budgeting, and all, which people would have been baffled thinking that we were thinking that we needed so much money to become a successful e-commerce supply chain, but here, Radha is saying something else. So I think this could be a very good episode where I can call this myths and realities of supply chain. So fantastic
Happy
for
to.
that.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic so much. So yeah, we have a few questions from the audience. I'll start with the first one from Mr. Manoj. What type of scanners and printers are being used for operations in e-commerce supply chain?
So normally I won't name the kind of device. It won't be right, but I don't, as I said, for all the scanning that we do, we use simple Android phones, right? And this is something that we used to use. We used to use from one of the largest handheld device companies. We used to use very expensive devices, where to set up one unit of mine, it would have cost me some 5, 6, 10, 15 lakhs. Today that cost is zero, because we use Android phones, and we also use Nishtush, BYOD. We don't use our phones. So because what happened was, when we moved to Android phones and we bought Android phones, a store would have about 25, 30 Android phones. जब store में जाते हैं, they will tell you, sir, phone टूट गया, sir, glass टूट गया, sir, button work नहीं कर रहा, ये कर रहा, वो कर रहा. I said, okay, here is $290 for you guys. This is your EMI for a smartphone. Go buy yourself a smartphone by next Monday. And they were very happy to get a new smartphone. And we said, buy it with a bumper so it doesn't break. We just download the app there and they pick with their phone. I don't have any capex. So as far as that is concerned, we just use, you see, don't make supply chain to be a sexy affair, right? I am actually using a handheld device which I can drop from the 10th floor. We hear all that kind of stuff. I can run a van over this handheld, it doesn't break. There are warehouses where you got to use that, but in my business, it is not necessary. I'm not saying that is not useful. It is certainly useful. Depends on your business. But as far as I'm concerned, the phones we used, just simple phones, Android phones. Our technology and our processes are built for Android phones, and we don't have any printers because we are not printing any paper, so we don't need that. But we use barcode stickers, where we use there are any number of simple printers, but just make sure that the printing device prints out the barcodes properly so that you get 100% scan. So our equipment is all very simple, and our store runs on 2 laptops, and that's it. For about 4 or 5 lakhs, I can set up a 5 crore business.
Wow, that's really great. And when you were talking about mobile phones, I just recollected we recently developed a questionnaire for one of the company's factory managers, wherein one of the questions in that was, how do you trace the visibility in the factory easily, using what devices? And there were 4 options that we had given. One of them being mobile phones, other laptops, and some high-end devices were named. The correct answer to that was actually mobile phones. So that the simpler the
Yes.
device, the easier it is to trace. So fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll move to the
Sure.
second question from
Yeah.
Mr. Dinkar. So he's asking, what's your market share, as in StarQuick's market share in e-commerce as compared to Amazon or other companies, etc., who are fresh product supplier?
We are very small. We are like a decimal place, right? But I'm not in the beauty contest. I'm an omni-channel for Tata. I have to deliver what is in the store. I have to deliver to people's homes. We deliver only within 10-kilometer radius. We don't cover the whole of Bombay. So these are not, whatever I'm saying is not sexy enough for investors, but it serves the purpose as an omni-channel. And as far as Fresh is concerned, I don't think anyone's doing a great job except maybe Big Basket, which is also a Tata company, which I think do a very good job as far as Fresh is concerned. I don't think anybody else remotely even understands the fruit and vegetable category or non-veg. Many of them have stopped delivering, and I think that's a category to win with. So our share is very tiny. It's not even worth mentioning, but I'm not in the shares game.
So I think he has a follow-up question to that as well. Any plans for moving from to tier B and tier C cities?
I'm not sure the grocery tier 2, tier 3, other than the top 10 metros, they are ready for e-commerce. There is no need for e-commerce. I mean, take a place like Aurangabad. I can drive through Aurangabad in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 1 hour. So why would you need e-commerce? You can go and shop yourself. So I think for grocery e-commerce, I don't think it is necessary to go beyond the top 15 cities. And mind you, the top 15 cities of this country has got 50% of the cash. And even if you do that well enough from a business inside out point of view, that's a good enough place to go. Tier 2, tier 3 towns will take some time.
So, actually, I have a personal follow-up question to that. When you say that a city like Aurangabad, you can drive through in 30 minutes and do the shopping. But isn't e-commerce also about convenience? Sitting at home and getting my groceries, probably in the same time I would have gone out. But isn't that something which is lucrative enough for people?
Yeah, it is. But I would think that in smaller towns, people are not as time poor as we are thinking, right? E-commerce is mainly to save time. That the convenience of not carting all that. E-commerce is used only for two reasons. One is I'm buying it from a place I can't access. It is coming from, what Agartala or some place. I can't reach there. The product is not available close to me. I will buy it in that way. Second thing is it is available locally, but I don't have the time, or I don't fancy carrying 10 kilos to my third floor house. So because of these two reasons, the only reason why people use e-commerce, it has to be convenient, and it is solving the problem of non-accessibility. So that's only two reasons why you want to use e-commerce. And I definitely think, as far as grocery is concerned, omni-channel grocery, which embellishes the store, is a good way of doing it. I'm not saying that in B class and C in B class towns it can't work. It can work, but it cannot be a standalone profitable business.
All right, great. So we have another question from Mr. Dinkar only, and then the last question from me. So he says, how does fresh product pricing affect your e-commerce, which varies day to day?
Oh, we change our prices. Some of the prices maybe more than once a day. So we don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's the business. That Thelawala, his price in the morning is not in the evening. You got to think like him. You got to think of it like a business. And why once, why twice? If you have changed price 5 times, you should know how to change it 5 times. So we are flexible, and our whole focus as far as fresh is concerned, we buy the largest percentage of whatever we sell in the store, Star Bazaar store, directly from the farmer. And therefore, we have removed all the supply, the middlemen. We have aggregated, and we have disaggregated some of the guys in the middle. We import some of the fruits ourselves, and I'm not sure anyone else is doing this business as well as we are doing as far as Star Bazaar and StarQuick is concerned. We also deliver meat, which is a small fledgling category, but I think it will grow in time. And so that's basically it.
Perfect. Thank you. So, before I get to my question, we just got another question from Mr. Sunil, again on the same lines of competitors. So, how do you see other grocery competitors in terms of market share of StarQuick, like Blinkit, Swiggy, Zepto, and all the other growing threats?
See, grocery $800 billion, right? Maybe $700 billion. But the point is, it is not a winner takes all market, right? And I can't think of anyone who is, unless all these people want to continue to do what they're doing and lose money. Whether their intention is to lose money, I don't know. But I definitely don't know anyone who's making money in grocery. As far as we are concerned, we are actually profitable after marketing. But we still have some way to go. So it depends what you want to do. I mean, what is the definition of success? What do you call success in e-commerce grocery? Just getting, 1 million orders a day and losing 10 times of that, 50% of your sales is your loss. Does that give you comfort? Maybe that's the way they see the business, but I don't. So you got to take it step by step. You got to do, and why run any business that is not profitable? And you can do the service to the customer, can keep telling yourself, let me get to 10 million orders a day, then things will turn around. Nothing will turn around in grocery even after 10 million, because you're still so small that you cannot leverage tomato buying, tomato buying, whatever, how much of a tomato you sell, you'll hardly be a decimal place of what is available. So how will you make a difference? So you got to make money. You got to make money right now. Every order you must make money. If you're not making order at every order, then how will you make order? How will you make money when you're 10 million? If you can't make it in the first 1 million, how will you make money in the next 10 million?
Fantastic. I think that's a that's a great business piece of advice that comes from you, sir. So I'm going to the
I
last
can
question.
see I can see one more. Sunil has posted one more question from somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So today's customer demand is 20 minutes delivery. What different approach or strategy is the plan to compete with above 10 to 20 minutes delivery competition when you mentioned 30 minutes or 90 minutes? So that's the reference.
Yeah. So I think there is some evolution in the customer's buying habit. Particularly young kids I cannot see my two sons standing in a grocery store and taking home 10-15 kilos of grocery. I don't see that happening. They will definitely, and they plan so badly in any case, they will decide, 2 hours before they want to eat what they want to cook. So things like that. So there may be a case for unplanned on-demand delivery. We are catering for that. By March 24, we will be 60-minute or 90-minute delivery. But remember, as you shorten the time, your resources peak, and therefore your cost goes up. Customer has to be ready now to pay for it, right? I mean, this is not a charitable business. There's no free lunch, and customer will have to pay a reasonable amount of that money if they want to get it before time. So.
Perfect. So now I'm moving on to the last question, which is a question by me. So before I ask this question, I would like to just give a little brief about the question to the audience. I heard Radha sir for the first time in a panel discussion, which was related to sustainability. So he's so brilliant when talking about sustainability. That's where, I requested him to be a part of the talk show, but we took a different topic. Someday in the next season, I'll call him again and talk about sustainability too. But that got me a little excited, and that's where this question is coming from. So, sir, my question is, how does e-commerce supply chain impact environment and sustainability, considering packaging, reverse logistics? There is so much option of free returns, and so much packaging is used, big boxes for small things. So, when we talk about sustainability and environment, where does e-commerce supply chain stand there?
I think, one good thing is that the vehicles are all becoming electric. Okay. But however, if the source of charging that van is coming from some coal-fired source, then that's not great happiness, but it is one step, right? So you want to go to a zero situation. That will happen in the next 20-30 years. I think the first thing to do is to convert your vehicle to electric vehicles, so you will be doing well. But actually, the answer is not that. The answer is, tell me, if I'm sitting in a room with an air conditioner on and I'm the only one in the room, I have a certain carbon footprint, right? If I have 40 people in a room, that same carbon footprint is divided by 40.
Right.
Right? Imagine somebody ordering for a 10-minute delivery one item. It has been carried by the same biker who could have carried 40 items, spending the same amount of fuel. What is the environmental hazard of this one piece delivery, of quick commerce? It's humongous. It's humongous, right? That the first of all, delivering to people's home, you are incurring carbon to make that delivery, but you're saving what the customer would have done by them coming themselves. So you're not incurring more than what would have otherwise incurred. But if you're ordering, you want 10 pieces and you order it 10 times, then the biker comes 10 times. Is that sensible? I don't know. I mean, if you're sensitive to the environment, I mean, today you're only looking at your cost. But if you are sensitive to the environment, you should give some knock on the knuckle for that. I think that's the biggest cost. People are prepared to pay for, when people have money, they are prepared to pay for quick delivery, which I think is the most hazardous supply chain configuration when it comes to environmental cost. So I mean, like this, it is. Otherwise, I think supply chain runs so many vehicles. Therefore, I think electrifying that and going back to the source of that, all that will get done. Even there's a friend of mine who runs electric forklifts, and they are converting to that. And slowly there will be laws which ask. I mean, like the CSR, there will be an economic way of putting that into your balance sheet in some part, and therefore things will come into place. But if the customer doesn't think about it, of ordering one piece or two piece by the same biker who could have got 10 pieces. So when you're ordering, please order 10 pieces instead of ordering one piece. That'll be the first start.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of the episode and also the season 4 of SCM Talk Show. And I couldn't have asked for a better episode to end the season 4. So thank you so much, Radha sir and Ravi sir, for
Thank you, Radha.
Thank you.
this
My pleasure, Ravi. Thank you, Nitish.
great learnings for all the SCM community. And thanks to all the audience for being with us for all the 4 seasons and being a great supporter. We have ended this season and we'll come back with season 5 in 2024. So stay tuned to our YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook channels for more information. And in the meanwhile, have great, happy holidays and take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks to
you.
all of
Have
you,
happy
and
holidays. Thank you.
real pleasure
Happy
being
New
here.
Year. Yeah.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.